So another calisthenics session. By the way, I'm not gonna make this a daily thing because, you know, it's not the most exciting things that I'm doing regarding the calisthenics. And the calisthenics I'm always doing 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time. So backwards. And that is always the deep dips plus knee raises, pull-ups plus knee raises, and on the parallel bars, or hanging on the pull-up bar doing the knee raises. And then a lot of forward lunges, backward lunges. Over here we got the benches. So over here I will do stepping up things to train the legs. And you know, I actually tried earlier today, because I was planning to do a live stream in vertical mode. By the way, I don't know, let's finish this little tiny talk, because I want to do the live stream in the portrait mode, which gives you more views, because I don't have millions of subscribers on YouTube yet. But anyway, at the moment 643, which means when you record in landscape mode and you are live in landscape mode, then pretty much nobody will actually pick it up. Once I end the live stream, then those live streams do have more views than, let's say, the normal vlogs. But I'm just stacking up, so vlogging and live streaming. But I want to have this solution because I only use my phone and this GoPro, and I tried it with Restream, but that's not working. So let's see. Anyway, let's put in the work, get rid of the frustration. I was a little bit frustrated about, which I don't like, because I prepared it at home in the Airbnb, and I was a little bit enthusiastic about it, because I want, you know, that the live stream pops up, let's say in the feed again when it's about the portrait mode, that drops into feeds, you know, in the shorts feeds and I don't know what, and that gives you perhaps also new people. But anyway, that's the way it is. Don't get emotional attached to anything, to any outcome. So let's drink some water. I'm also incredibly thirsty today. Yesterday also drunk a little bit beer, and now I'm thirsty. And I don't want to say that I'm slightly hangover, because I'm not, but I'm thirsty. Okay, so let's try to get warm. It is not as cold as yesterday, that's for sure, but it is snowy. I think -1 or something, maybe. I don't know. I'm actually thinking what to do with the camera. Wait a minute. I'm going to do it different with the camera, because now it's on the stative, but I made this GoPro thing with magnets, custom made. Not that I invented something genius, but for on the calisthenics spot it is incredibly handy. So I'm gonna use it. Why not? I thought to do it on the tripod thing, but I think then the view is very boring. Already more boring than my daily calisthenics session. And I'm saying, or I'm using the word boring, because I'm doing this every single day, and for most people it will be classified as boring, right? I actually enjoy it, but I understand also visually there's not a lot of excitement going on. I understand that too. But anyway, I'm happy that there are not a lot of people. There are children walking in. You have to be a little bit careful about children, I think, especially when it's on YouTube. And by the way, I'm always respectful about people, their privacy. So in case you see me in many of my vlogs, and also that irritates me of my own behavior, and when it's about vlogging, you pretty much really point your nose in your own reality, which means you look at yourself, you hear your own voice. And especially when you're cutting the shorts, you know, sometimes I get very frustrated by myself, huh? Very honest about that. But the thing is, what I want to say, I'm always looking around that you know, other people don't get accidentally on the camera, because I talk about this multiple times, right? But you know, when people go to these areas, when the scammers, you know, and then the scammers get angry, all the viewers, the millions of viewers, and they're like that when people throw bottles at each other, I don't know what. I do understand that's entertainment, but yesterday again, you know, I mentioned this. I think you can make anybody angry when you put a camera long enough in their face without any consent. And it's not about that I'm justifying the occupation of those scamming people, but yeah, like I said, you can make even the most normal people, you can make them angry. You know, yesterday I used this example of let's say 9 to 5 people. You know, 9 to 5 people, when they sit in the canteen swallowing burgers and pizzas, you know, trust me, when you put a camera for longer than 5 minutes in their face, they also gonna say something about it. And nobody actually films 9 to 5 people and actually try to do harm to themselves with all the pizzas and the burgers. I think it's even worse than scammers, or maybe on the same level. Scammers are busy for doing the same thing for decades, and most of the police in those areas, you know, they have a little bit an eye. Of course they arrest, they close an eye, but of course they arrest here and there. But it's just how do you say this? I don't know the saying. Let's also try to warm up a little bit. Actually, the weather is very good, very good. Like I said, yesterday it was very cold. Oopsie daisy, a little bit stretching. Today I'm just wrestling myself to the daily regime, just bit by bit. But that's the thing, when you do it every day, not every day is your fittest day, and especially of course when you drink the night before. And of course I didn't go willy-nilly like in the old days. And I also don't want to say that that I'm now all of a sudden a wise old man of 47 years old that doesn't drink at all. But I don't drink anymore the way we used to do. That was actually ridiculous. Anyway, so where do we gonna because over there's a woman with her child, so let's avoid the woman with a child. Let's start with one dip, one deep dip, knee raise, pull up plus knee raise, and then a hanging knee raise. And you know, I always do it like this, already said this, but 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 times. And that is my daily regime next to the runs. And when it's about my running in January, I think I'm gonna end up this month with 100 kilometers, and then that's it for January. Somehow, I don't know. Anyway. And then a hanging knee raise, because normally I do the knee raise, 5 knee raises then, but over there is the parallel bar, but there's a woman over there. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Slow, bit by bit, we're getting into it. And like this, and I think this is about structure. You know, it's very structured, right? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I don't have to repeat it again, I think. But the thing is, structure. I think that keeps you in shape. There are a lot of, and like always, I'm not disrespecting anybody, but there are people, tons of people, everybody probably knows, you see them training a lot for, I don't know what, for many years, and there is still a huge amount of fat on the bones, and they do all kind of things with their elastics and I don't know what. Again, no disrespect, but you know, if you work it out structured. For example, when I do the deep dips plus knee raises, right? You also know those people, right? They go pum 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 pum. That is all fun. Yesterday I also saw a video of a guy. He was doing very fast. And it also depends what you want to grow, I think. But for me, I just want to have, let's say, the long muscle look. Because I'm 174 meters, so I don't want to look bulky, because that makes me look shorter, right? Anyway, just sharing my thoughts. So let's do 2 times deep dips, knee raise, 2 times pull up plus knee raise, and then 5 times hanging knee raise. And these particular gloves are not very grippy, but they're actually very comfy. But for the pull-ups, they're not very handy. See, of course, and this is another thing, eh? Everything looks always very simple. So for example, now I feel a little bit, and I start to feel a little bit enthusiastic. I could do head and knee raises and toes to bar, but this is the thing, I will do this maybe 5 times, and then the last sets or reps will be way much more intense. So we're not gonna do that. First, let's finish the regime. So 5 hanging knee raises. 1. So now we're getting slowly warm. By the way, we're at the moment in West Park, Sofia, Bulgaria. Let's throw in a couple windmills. Oh. I actually... Wait a minute. So, pretty much 25 windmills. It always feels good on the lower back. I actually walked from the Airbnb to here, so that was a little bit, quote-unquote, my warm-up. And while I was walking over here, I wanted to do the live stream with the portrait mode, and then also stream at the same time on TikTok. But that's a problem that I won't solve later today. So yeah, let's get into the 3 times knee raises. Oh no, 3 times dips plus knee raises, 3 times pull-ups plus knee raises, and then 5 times hanging knee raises. And let's do again 25 windmills. Okay, we're getting warm. That's nice. And without the wind, it's also easier to stay warm. I like that. Let's go over here. So the woman with the child actually left. It's good. I'm wearing a woolen under thing under my thermo thing. A lot of words. Also, when you listen to yourself, right? When you cut up the vlogs for shorts, you know, I'm also using sometimes, many times in a row, dumbass words. I know. But anyway, everything is raw and real. Like the calisthenics thing, you know, I understand the young guys, they want to swing around, but not me. I just want to. And the main thing for the main reason for my daily calisthenics is simply put in the daily disciplines. So that's why it's also every single day, 365 days a year. So now we need to do the 4 times dips plus knees there, 4 times dips plus knee raises, pull up plus knee raises, and hanging knee raises. 5 times, and then the windmill. Okay, it starts to feel good, but the wind is picking up a little bit. Now the 4 time pull-ups plus knee raises. Come on, easy work. Hup. Okay, and now let's do the knee raises on the parallel bars. I don't know if I can hang the camera correctly. I'm gonna do that over here. So let's hang. These parallel bars are very low, but this one is good. Okay, let's do a couple of windmills. 2, 3, 7, 8. Okay, let's go to the 5 times. Feels good, nothing crazy. And you know what? I said it also yesterday. 5 times is always it's really my sweet spot. If I go, for example, to do up till 7, then I really start feeling it the next day. Of course, that would increase perhaps some muscle growth, but I think to do that, for example, I would say now, if I do up to 7, I'm not gonna do this 365 days a year. 5, I will do, you know, on 365 days a year, because maybe it is an excuse, but in combination with the runs, then 5 is for me the sweet spot. And like I said, in January I run probably max 100 kilometers, so that is way less than normal. But you know, maybe I don't know what, tissues, they can recover. Anyway, what do I need to do now? I did the windmills. Oh yeah, 5 time dips. 5 time dips plus knee raises, 5 times pull-ups plus knee raises, 5 time knee raises on the semi dip bar, and let's throw in some windmills again. And after that I want to do the pike push-up plus the push-up, and the end just a little bit willy vanilly. Oh yeah, legs, and then we got everything. Let's say that everything is awakened, because my day always starts around 5:15. Today I was 1 hour too late, but I don't feel guilty about it. The way it is, the way it is. Okay. If the weather is like this tomorrow, then I would really feel like running. Maybe I will. Okay, so I did the 5 times dips plus knee raises, pull-ups, normal grip, nothing wide, not close. Up, okay. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And when it's about my specific regime, I always feel I have a little bit this mental victory. You know, you reach the 5 and then, you know, you go to 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, and then you're free to do whatever you want, like forward lunges, backward lunges, swinging on the rings, or wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that feels good. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 25 windmills, and we're going now to the 4 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time. Let's do a little bit legs. Let's do first the walking lunges, and then I like to do also the stepping lunges, but let's warm up those legs. Not that I'm cold, but just to, I don't know, I just warm them up. Let's do it in front of the camera. Epic. Feels good. Feels good. Let's do backward lunges on the spot. Okay, let's go back to the dips and the pull-ups. Maybe do some extras later on. Like I said, you know, every calisthenics spot I pretty much know, let's say, the majority of the calisthenics spot what is possible, because these, you know, I'm using for the pike push-ups. Okay, let's do 1. Now let's do 5. Just something else in between. Okay, I like it. Feeling the legs, feeling the shoulders, and let's go for the 4 time. 4 time dips plus knee raises, 4 times pull-ups plus knee raises, and 5 times knee raises. Maybe I will do some flutter kicks, just to make things quote unquote a little bit more interesting. Up. No. Okay. So done deal. The 4 times. Now the 4 times pull-ups plus knee raises. One. Okay, feels good. Now the knee raises. Maybe a couple of flutter kicks, but let's see. One. Flutter kicks. So, you know, when you do those, when you with the arms over the bar, it feels very isolated. See, I don't know all those gym or exercise terms because I'm not really into that. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, let's do the windmills. I think the windmills. Let's do it on another spot so you get a better background, and just for your viewers' entertainment. 33 minutes in, and let's say in the end, see, I'm also now spending a lot of time on speaking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fast one because I want to get it over with. Where was I? So now we go to the 3 times dips plus knee raises. That feels always good because then we know we did it again. And this is what I thought, you know, if I would skip today, then I would miss a day of mental growth. And for me it's more mental. And of course my brain power needs to, you know, I want to think always very clear. Fast, snappy, snappy, snappy. Not like, you know, like a slow pizza eating, with all the respect to the people who eat pizza, but you know, my brain, because I'm constantly developing stuff, need to be in top condition. And I'm not saying that my brain is in the best condition ever. Anyway, 3 times, easy work. Yeah, so when you have this daily regime in place, and for example, you will start simple, you know, just only do dips, pull up, and perhaps a little bit leg work, and a little bit the knee raises, you know, that you do 3, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then 2 times, 1 times, but do it every single day in a structured way. You know, personally I like, and because again I'm 174, I like to look a little bit taller than I am. But yeah, if you're a tall guy of 185, if I would be that tall, I probably also would be, you know, trying to get very big shoulders and popped out chest. But if I would have now that kind of stuff, I would look like a little tiny dwarf, right? Anyway, stop with the dwarf talk, Dylan. This is not good for your ego. I don't have an ego, but the thing is, let's do the 3 times. Okay, easy work. Oh. 1. 2. 3. Okay, feels even better now, because after the 3 there are 2 times, 1 time, and like this also you slowly cool down a little bit, right? Keep the blood flowing. 1, 2, 3. Hey. Okay, let's do some windmills. For me, you know, at 47, I like to keep my spine very, you know, flexible. Perhaps everybody likes that, but that's why I do like the windmills. Feels good on the lower back. Also feels good everywhere, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, good. 4, 5, 7, 8, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Done deal. So now I'm a little bit thirsty. You know what? And when you're thirsty, you drink something. And no beer, water. That is nice, hoor. You know, that's another thing, eh? When you move like this, and then you can have this satisfying sip of water, you know, feels way much more that you earn it. I also believe... Sorry. Hey, you have to earn your privilege of living every single day, I believe. And somebody said this, I don't know who, and I think it's a beautiful thing to live by. We're longer dead than we're alive. I don't know who said this. If you know, just leave it in the comments, or I don't know what. But I think that's a very beautiful way of thinking, because perhaps it is true. And, you know, I say the word perhaps because some people believe that we're coming back, right? Reincarnation. When it's about reincarnation, I don't think about it a lot, but now when I'm mentioning the word, you know, well, how would that go, right? If you leave this body, then all of a sudden you pop out somewhere, maybe into an animal. And what animal? Okay, let's do the 2 times. 2 times deep dip knee raise. Up, picky. Oh, wearing. By the way, my gloves are over here. Don't start losing things, Dylan. Okay, take it easy. Up, Vicky. 2 times. Up. No, but seriously, you know, I talked about that 1 time, 2 times, 3, 4 times, 5 times, and then backwards is for me the perfect amount. There. Knee raises. So now there's only 1 time left, so let's push this one in, because temperature is falling again. I can feel it. So 1 time, and then we do the windmills plus, oh yeah, I want to do the stepping thing over there. Maybe that's nice to shape up the behind. Okay. And then 5 times the knee raises. Up, okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's do the windmills, maybe with a different background. Oh yeah, the wind is picking up a little bit. One, 2. Feels always good. And you know what? Every day that things are working properly, you know, your body, and the moment that you're in pain, you will understand how much you actually need stuff. You know, toes, spines, everything. So yeah, everything what you don't use, you lose, right? Now let's do a little bit stepping things. Oh, not slippery. Okay. That feels good. It always feels very good. Now I need to do my other leg. Let's put the camera for convenience over here. Okay. Whoa. Oh. Nice. That feels good. So what else can we do? Maybe it's nice to do a little bit the toes to bar. What do you think? Yeah, let's do toes to bar over here. Is this high enough? Yeah, so let's do this over here. It is getting cold actually, but again, another nice session. And of course I know it's not the most acrobatic stuff and all the exciting things, but that's the way it is. And the thing is, I'm not claiming to be some kind of athlete thing. The thing is, for me, personal growth, discipline, and somehow stay in shape at 47 without testo or whatever, and still being more hyped up than most 20-year-olds. Because with all the respect, you know, I speak with a lot of young people, and you know, nice, you know, not disrespecting, but you know, the energy is pretty low, the majority of people. Anyway, again, no disrespect. The thing is, anyway, let's do the toes to bar. Okay, that feels good. You know, doing this every day also gives you, you know, for me it is a very satisfying feeling once it's done. And trust me, minimal 2 times per week I'm waking up in the morning and I think, oh my god, Alan, how are you going to do this? Then you know, water, coffee, start planning the day. Usually I'm ending my day with planning, but you know, then I pretend that I'm in a relaxing mode. So then I drink coffee in the morning, water, and while I'm doing the water and everything, cleaning up a little bit the room so it doesn't look like a pig stall, which I keep things tidy, not in an obsessive way, but you know, things need to be tidy, otherwise I go a little bit nuts, but also not in a psychopathic way, just in a relaxed way, going nuts, whatever that means. So, wow, well done, Dalan. Thank you. Thank you for no wind. I'm very thankful for that. Thankful for a lot of stuff. Another day. It's another thing, right? I don't underestimate the fact when you're alive I'm very curious who said this actually, this person, you know, that you're longer dead than you're alive. That is actually, and there was another person who said something else. He said before he goes to bed, he says to himself, I did everything to the max and I'm good. I don't know who said this, but that is also something that I really like. That makes you also think about your own actions, right? What did you do? What I always, because I'm addicted to talking with people and blah blah blah. I always evaluate my communication. Doesn't matter with who, people in supermarkets, people in groceries, that's actually the same. Or anywhere where I went and run into people, or people come up to me, you know, I'm always thinking, could have done this better. Maybe lower down a little bit the energy, maybe lowering down the tonality. You know, I'm always trying to adapt. Not in a chameleon way, you know, the sneaky way. But always, you know, try to be as genuine as possible. Look people in the eyes, but also not too much. So they don't get, you know, weird. It's always very quickly to scan a person, but I'm not bragging over here, but I'm pretty good at it. There is also simply a big audience that I simply could not talk with, but those people also not, you know, also not interested to talk with anybody. You know, those are in general the people who are not living a real life, authentic life. But there are so many people who do have a very authentic personality, and that is those people I usually attract. But also, yeah, anyways, so I always think about my actions, could have done more. When it's about the calisthenics things, sometimes, now for example, now I'm thinking I could have done more pike push-ups and maybe some more toes to bar, but I'm good for now. I'm anyway walking a little bit to West Park, and then I'm going to the supermarket, buy minced meat. That is also something, and let me share something about the minced meat thing. See, first of all, I'm eating everything. I'm like an animal. Wait a minute. I need to pack my bag, Dalla, because this is the thing. I keep on talking and I'm then not focusing on the things that I need to focus on. So let's focus on the good stuff. That means pack everything in the bag, because you know, you don't want to have this feeling, you know, that you forgot. Once I also forgot the camera, because it's a very tiny, and the GoPro Hero 12, and I put it on this magnetic thing. It's very easy to forget. And I also had once the very small GoPro. I don't know the name of this, but there was a very small one with no front screen. See, I'm taking my phone and I clip it, because you know, I'm doing everything from the phone, and a lot of things depend on the phone, so that I don't drop it. Anyway, this one, the statif. Are we gonna use the statif now? No. Put it in a bag. Then this one, a little bit lipstick. No lipstick. Labello, because yeah, with this cold, you know, I don't want to have those burst lips. Anyway, it is still recording, I think. It is getting colder, huh? It's really on time. Everything is perfectly timed. Finished with the session, the calisthenics thing. Now on the way back, supermarket, minced meat. Yeah, I said I would talk about the minced meat because I had injuries on my feet. But there is something in meat, and when it's about meat, there is stuff in it. I did a lot of research on it because I had a swollen joint, and that's gone now, fortunately. but to recover, you know, when it's about running, those ultra runners, I really don't understand how they do this. Or I mean, mostly feeding wise, because you know, I do on an average, let's say 10-15 kilometers, you know, one day off, one day 10-15 kilometers. Probably tomorrow 15, maybe I will do 20. But the thing is, I cannot imagine doing 50 kilometers because, see, I also don't know the frequency about those runs. But if I do when I do my 50 kilometers of let's say 15 kilometers, then I'm very hungry. Then I'm for the next hours feeding like a madman, and I'm I'm not obsessive over food, but I am looking at, okay, the minced meat refuels this and this. There's a lot of things about meat. That's another thing. And those vegetarians, the people who claim that they're vegetarian, you also never know what's true, right? But you know, if you all the way go vegetarian, I always get a little bit of boost of meat. I also tried to eat, I did it once for 30 days, no eating meat. But that was nice, maybe to clean up the system, but I was missing something. And like I said, I'm not obsessive over food, so I didn't went all the way like a vegetarian, you know, looking for all kind of ingredients and chasing the planet for this particular protein thing in this specific plant that you can only find deep in the Amazon. No, I just skipped the meat, but a lot of vegetables. It made me feel, let's say, bright between the ears, and it cleared up my brain a little bit. But also after that, I was many times, let's say, I had this daytime dip simply because I burn, you know, I burn sometimes after a 15-kilometer run, and sometimes when I do 10-kilometer run plus 3 or 4 times at calisthenics spots. You know, if I have to eat plants, then I have to eat a whole cornfield. I don't know. I simply don't know how those ultra people eat. And this is another thing. I don't want to start getting into whey proteins and all that kind of stuff, because that is another asset that you need to maintain, or you know, to drag around. Because yeah, I'm living from Airbnb to Airbnb, but I don't want to drag around with a big jar of protein. It's not the only thing. And I did also for a little while, little tiny period, maybe of 40 days, I did the protein stuff, but you know, I don't feel the difference. But maybe also it doesn't suit my daily regime and the endurance thing. I don't know. Perhaps it's more for the people who are in the gym and just, you know, making selfies and grow biceps. Maybe that's good. I don't know. And of course, I'm not disrespecting anybody, but for me, the whey protein, I think I tried it multiple times in my life. 3 times, no, maybe 2 times. And then for a good amount of days in a row, and then check how I would feel. I also tried once, what is this name? Creatine. Also about creatine, once my face was start to swell up more than it already is. So like a freaking balloon. it holds water, they say, right? But anyway, I don't know. Let's see how much battery we do have in the camera. I don't know. It's also time to stop the live stream. Maybe do a little bit a view around. Let me know what you think about the view. See, there's always a difference how things look like on the camera, because sometimes, you know, when I want to share, for example, once I was in a, of multiple times, I was for a few weeks ago in a very messy room, and I wanted to show it to somebody. You know, I would say, look at this. But on the video, it looked way much more neat than in real life, you know. So on camera sometimes, I don't know how. See, for me what I see now is a little bit green, the trees. But when I looked at the vlog, I was thinking, yeah, it looks a little bit sad, but in real life it does not. It feels pretty good now. And the colors, they're not so bright as in the summer, but you know. Also when I walk sometimes here, because I'm in Sofia, Bulgaria, between some buildings, you know, when I look at the video I think, yeah, it looks a little bit not the happiest place. And I love Bulgaria, so I'm saying this with all the respect, but on the video it does not look as how I feel. And you know, that's another thing, you know, I got a specific feeling with the surroundings, right? Also when I walk into the store, everything is for me one big Disney park, you know. But on the video, have people who are watching, maybe they think, oh, that looks, you know, not the brightest location on the planet, but that's not what it is. I mean, it is for me, but also when it's about so for example, you go to Malta, and I lived for 5 years in Malta. The thing over there, when we went from Bulgaria to Malta, I had a little bit of shock. Why? Because everything is from limestone. And then we went to the other island, Gozo, I was like, whoa. I had a little bit of shock. But at one point, when you live somewhere, you know, things get color. You start to get to know the people, and then things get color. And at one point, you know, yeah, that's the thing. When the first time when I went to Gozo in Malta, mamma mia, there was, I said, it's like in the pyramids in the desert. And I'm saying this with all the respect, because I also love to be in Malta. But the thing is, that's a little bit how it, you know, looks like if you don't know anything about it or know people in it. And people always give color at a location, no matter where you are or in what kind of situation you are. People and the way you feel about the people is, and gives it color. Or maybe for a lot of people who are not in the best mental state, you know, they start seeing everything as a disaster and everything is dark and doom. But I don't see the things like this. So let me know what you think, what you see on the camera. I don't know what to say about it, because no matter the temperature, I still feel it like some sort of nice cozy place. Maybe also now I have a little bit the lucky of the happiness hormone in my brain from accomplishing the day, or finishing the daily regime again. It's another thing. If you do something every day, and especially the times that you don't want to do it, then you're growing, you know, discipline every day, every single day. And also when it's about the calisthenics part, most people who say that they train every day at the calisthenics spot, well, and there are a lot of people who only train when the weather is good, when it's sunny, and it is all nice. Everybody has their own, you know, they have their own choices to make. But for me, relentless doing it, no matter what, rain, storm, snow, boiling hot. So for example in Malta, boiling hot. Also then, you know, the calisthenics spots are empty. And this is what separates, let's say in this case, myself from the herd. If you want more from life, pay the price. Pay the price. Never talk about what you want, just figure out what you want and figure out the price that you want to pay. That's how I think. And if you know, willing to pay the price extensively, so if you put in 100 times the price, then expect perhaps maybe a 5% return, but then you earn it. This is how I see it a little bit. You know, do I actually deserve to walk over here? You know, and I also never underestimate people who live on the street now. I'm now going to a supermarket, then I go later to the Airbnb, and then I'm gonna and attach my phone to the portable screen. That's luxury. At least that's how I see it. Yeah, but Alan, but everybody has a phone, and there we go. That's what I mean. That's always what I want to tell people. You got a phone, and still you're going to your job because you simply don't know how to use the tools. Everybody has the same tools. We also all have a brain. What are you gonna do with it? You know? Are you motivating it, or you feeding it? And what are you feeding your brain? And what are you feeding your brain with? With all kind of disaster? You're watching every day the news. When it's about the news, I haven't watched the news for, I think, more than a decade. And I'm not exaggerating. I also don't watch television. I made once a little bit. I dropped once a picture of me training in a fitness group, and I said I wasted 35 minutes on television last year, and people went totally freakish bananas. You know, people in the fitness thing, with all respect, don't get, but in this specific fitness group, it was like I was, you know, that I attacked people, their children. That's how bananas they went. So it was a very sensitive topic. That television was holy. So, but I think that also says a lot about the mentality, right? And also when I looked at some of the profiles, the most offensive comments on me saying that I, you know, wasted 35 minutes on television came from people who have authority positions. So like there were multiple personal trainers who went totally bananas. See, and I always, and then everybody knows, negativity always comes from bottom feeders. But the thing is, when you are a personal trainer, you know, you need to motivate people, to make sure that people, you know, they get a better character, right? And then have yourself that kind of behavior. I think that's very how do you say it? Irresponsible. Because they have a little bit an authority position, and I think the majority of so-called personal trainers, they know how to milk this out the wrong way, keep the people that they quote-unquote train as fat as possible, you know, fill them up with powders and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's their own business model. But you know, if you have that kind of attitude, you know, that you have to leave comments, you know, think about this. I always think about, and let's take a look at a bird view of, put yourself in another person's mind. So there he sees somebody training on a calisthenics spot, and I had a quote over it, you know, I wasted 35 minutes on television. But then, you know, then somebody decides to, oh yeah, and somebody also said, you have to start training your legs, chicken legs. But the thing is, see, I don't feel, you know, sad about it or something, but I always think negative comments, that is first of all come from bottom feeders. But not only this, if you, let's say, like this, you know, on a very high level, you're not wasting time on leaving negative comments, you know. At least I don't believe in that. I don't see the, let's say, a big CEO scrolling through Facebook groups and looking for for spots to leave negative comments. Yeah, anyway, my own fault. I also have to stop talking, I think. Yeah, I will, because I'm leaving the park. I have to do a little pee-pee in the bushes, and as you can see, there's not a lot of places to hide. Oh, you know, over there on that spot, once there was a very creepy guy in the summer. You can see the video actually. I was vlogging, and this guy in the bushes, big sunglasses, body warmer, in the middle of the summer, boiling warm, not boiling but hot, for Bulgarian hot. And the thing is, you know, if you do sneaky stuff, you have to dress up like this, right? It's not some kind of guy, you know, normal dressed up, you know, for the weather. No, a guy who, you know, sneaks around behind in the bushes. Anyway, there was one person who made a negative comment on that one. He said, yeah, you also shouldn't walk around like that. I was wearing a short pants and just my training gear. And the thing is, also a lot of people actually commented on him, but you know, some people just need to say things to attack you. But if you also really think about it, another guy said you also should not dress like this. I was not dressed different than, you know, I'm not walking around with wigs and for example, I was just wearing short pants. Anyway, nothing to be emotional about, but I always wonder, you know, where is it coming from? What's going on in your brain? You got better things to do, or you don't have better things to do. The weather is actually very good, huh? I'm very happy with this. So yeah, oh, look at this tree. All the leaves. That's the thing about trees, right? They just move on. Get rid of the leaves, the rotten apples, like I always talk about, get rid of them. Keep your circle clean. Feed your brain with good stuff, positive stuff. Don't watch the never-ending wars or conflicts, because it's never gonna end anyways. So let's call this today's live stream. I don't know how many minutes at the moment, but let's see. It's time to leave the park and go to the supermarket and feed myself and do a little pee-pee. Okay, I'm out. I think we had a nice session together, you and me. Ciao for now, from West Park, Sofia, Bulgaria. Dalan Baron, me, aka .com Baron,